5 reasons why I am no longer a Muslim.
Okay, let's hear his arguments.
Quran is not perfectly preserved. There was different Qurans. And then Uthman actually burned multiple Qurans and he compiled his version of the Quran and he kept one of them. Almost, I think, 7 different versions of the Quran.
Quran is preserved word by word, letter by letter. Quran is preserved through oral tradition, and we have the chain all the way back to Prophet Muhammad. And physically, Quran was compiled under Abu Bakr due to memorizers dying in the battles, which then it was passed to Umar and then to her daughter Hafsa, and that's why it's called Hafs. 7 ahruf, for that which you call versions, were revealed for different Arab tribes, which they had their own Arabic dialect, and all of those 7 are divine, and the 26 qira'ats are recitations by 26 famous scholars of recitation. Osman burned copies that had personal notes like Aisha's one, which had the middle prayer as Asr, and the confusion was caused by Muslims mixing ahrufs and making new qira'ats. So Osman burned them and standardized hafs, and he allowed other ahrufs to be recited. And guess what? Even non-Muslim scholars admit to the preservation of the Quran. On the other hand, Gospels were anonymous, named 300 years after Jesus by Irenaeus, and they were cherry-picked. For instance, Gospel of Thomas, Mary, and many other Gospels were removed. And still, there are many fabricated stories like the story of Jesus and an adulterous woman. Surprisingly, Christian scholars admit that the Bible is not preserved at all.
If you live Islam, you are to be killed. According to the Sharia law,
you will only be unalived if you publicize your apostasy, because then you're encouraging others to do it. If you keep it to yourself, nothing will happen and no one will find out.
If I don't choose Jesus today, I can do that. And Christians are not going to come kill me and persecute me because I decided to leave Christianity.
And in the Bible, it's even worse. Deuteronomy 13 says, if your own brother said to worship other God than the God of Israel, then you yourself should stone him and not pity him and unalive him.
One of them was like, Muhammad went up and he cut the moon in half. At first there was like lines on the moon. Everybody's like blowing this up all over the internet. You do some research, you find out there's a bunch of cuts and dusts everywhere in the moon.
The splitting of the moon was a miracle of Prophet Muhammad, but the moon came back together, so we don't expect any cracks to be there. It happened during the night for a few seconds where half of the world it was day and most people were asleep, so we don't expect everyone to see it because it was only for a few moments to show the prophethood of Prophet Muhammad to Abu Jahl. Moses split the sea, but we don't expect the sea today to be split because it came back together.
Your kids come from the man's bones or the man's brain, something like that, which is not how a baby comes. Like,
he doesn't even know the argument. But the argument is that the Quran says that the sperm comes from the backbones and the ribs, but this is not what the Quran says. It says that the man was created from sperm, and it is extracted from between the backbones and the rib. Tafsir al-Qurtubi says the word it refers to man and not sperm, because the verse is referring to the creation of man.